Hello and welcome back to episode 2 of our Oxygen Not Included maximum difficulty guide slash let's play, where I kind of show you the tips and tricks necessary to succeed on the hardest game mode, or the hardest difficulty setting of Oxygen Not Included. All this stuff is at a 7. People should be rushing to do it. Bert's a little bit busy at the moment, but we want to get this first harvest in. That'll really boost our calorie count here. We see them eating in not quite the mess hall. This needs to be improved in priority. Also, I'm not super fond of having these hatches here because they can potentially eat my food. We'll need to wrangle them into some place later on. For now, though, we're sort of just leaving them alone. It's a little bit more effort than it's worth, I think, to go and kill them. If we need food, of course, we're going to kill them, but for now. Yeah, let's go ahead and improve the priority on this. And research, we should be researching jobs at the moment. We are. Perfect. We're just going to set up a jobs board somewhere around here. It's perfectly fine. And we'll set up one of our little oxygen generation places down here. And we'll set up another one right here. And basically what we're going to do is a little trick that I used in my normal difficulty playthrough, which is we're just going to dig out a little area of water, or a little, like one tile at the top here, and let all this water just fall into our oxygen producing area. Our algae terrariums will suck it up and use it to produce oxygen. And that'll be easy peasy. Alright, so now this should count as a mess hall, and it'll give a morale bonus of +3. This counts as a barracks, and it'll give us a morale bonus of +1. This counts as a latrine, and it'll give us a morale bonus of +1. We're going to get a morale minus, so to speak, of -1 because of the decor being ugly and them just eating raw mealwood, which they're not big fans of for fairly obvious reasons. It's a food that crawls. So overall, though, we should, because we have them with a two-bit break, we should be able to yeah, go ahead and plumb this. I didn't want this to happen. I wasn't paying attention. We didn't want this to fill up, basically, because I don't want the polluted dirt just sitting around here producing polluted oxygen, since I don't really have a way of dealing with the polluted oxygen at the moment. But we'll just let this happen. It's not the biggest of deals that this happens. We can also just say refinement compost and set up a little composting area somewhere. That's also not very hard at all. In fact, maybe we just want to do that. I'm a little bit more concerned about polluted water than the polluted oxygen here. Problem is that we start to develop a little bit of a germ problem. As long as we keep this away from our food areas, we should be fine. And as long as we're able to research our way to deodorizers soon enough, we'll be fine. They're cranking away at the research. That's great. Oh, I thought they finished. They did not. A little short on oxygen. We're going to go ahead and improve the priority on these, just so we can get them up and running. That'll help with our air pressure just a little bit as well. It's fine here. It's a little bit lower here. It's definitely lower here. Yeah, we just want to start producing some oxygen. Doesn't have to be a ton, but we want some. And we can dig out all of this as well. And I don't think I want to crack into the CO2. I wouldn't mind it, I suppose, but we'll wait on that. Alright, so do we get a farmer? We do not get a farmer. Construction, tinkering. This one's germ resistant, which is pretty nice, but nothing really impressive. I kind of want to wait for someone with a farming skill. Farming's pretty important in my view. Gets you more seeds, lets you... Once you get a farmer, you can start pretty reliably getting more people. But until then, you're just kind of in a rough scenario. And we'll go ahead and dig out this. Crack into this oxygen here. Alright, our jobs are done. So we are going to, I think, next work towards interior decor. That way we can get them to higher jobs. We're also going to say stations, jobs board, slap down a jobs board. We'll slap it down right here. We can go ahead and dig out this as well. Set this to a priority 7. Get everybody started on their jobs. Morale-wise, we see them all at reasonable morale. Enough to support a job at this point. We see stress going up a little bit because we are past cycle 3, so they're sort of their bonus from the start is gone. Let's go to jobs. So Mima, we need to work as a digger, but these other people we are just going to put as gophers. Gopher's probably one of the best jobs we can get, but Mima needs to eventually advance down that chain. She's not a researcher. She's germ resistant, so she's going to be able to go into areas that would otherwise slowly kill everybody else. Let's just set her up as a miner right now. Stress will start going up a little bit. We see that morale-wise, actually this person still counts as high morale. If you're +2 above your morale requirements, you're good. But I think one person will be, yeah, I think Mima will get a little bit of stress here. That'll start climbing up. Everybody else should be okay. And we're going to work towards interior decor. That way we can boost up our morale by putting a decor item in our Great Hall that we have over here. We also, I suppose, should start setting up a little oxygen area somewhere up here. And I think we're going to do that essentially just by digging across like so. And this is where we'll set up our algae terrariums. We're tapping into a vacuum, which is not great, but we can live with it. These are all at a 5. That's fine. You know, let's put the... do I want to put the priority at 6? I don't want them delivering water to them. I just want them to supply them with algae at this point. We also need to uncover more of these seeds around the map. This wouldn't be a bad idea. Maybe like so. And we can dig out like this as well. Alright, this should get us a decent number of new seeds. And yeah, once these have been had algae delivered into them, we'll be able to just flood this area with water from this all this water on this set of tiles right here. We'll just dig out this little area here, and it'll all fall down. That'll be great for us. I'm tempted to priority 6 all of this stuff, just so they can get algae in here. Once we have the algae in here, we can set the priority back down, because I don't want them delivering water in here. Alright. Set this priority back down to 5. And let's set this priority at 6. And we're actually going to say dig out this as well. So the downsides of using algae terrariums as your approach are kind of twofold. One is that they're often going to be walking in water, and that's going to increase their stress. The other difficulty is that you're producing polluted oxygen ultimately, and that's going to create some problems for you as well, potentially. This is at priority 7. Go ahead and deliver some more water here, please. Perfect. Alright. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Still waiting on this. Priority 5 is fine. So, yeah, see, this area will start filling up with water, and it'll be consumed by these algae terrariums to help produce oxygen. Let's go ahead and dig out this area here. That way this algae terrarium can continue working. Perfect. At this point, it's just a matter of finding more seeds, finding a farmer so that we can generate more seeds, and slowly building out our food supply. The next major hurdle is getting ranches up and running. I think ranches are a pretty good idea for your next source of food, because hatch ranches will produce coal, which is going to be very important because you don't want people spending a lot of time running around on these manual generators. Duplicate man hours in the hardest difficulty are very valuable, and spending them just getting power is not good. You'd rather have the classic coal generator plus smart battery set up to power all your stuff. For now, we're not doing that because we just don't have that technology unlocked yet. It's going to be a while before we get smart batteries, for example, but that's going to be the next major thing on that end. And hatches will provide the coal to do that, and they're also going to provide pretty good morale. Getting barbecue, for example, is a huge boost to morale and unlocks just a ton of different jobs that you otherwise really wouldn't be able to do. And yeah, getting this oxygen generation up and going is nice. It will start improving the air pressure in all these areas slowly. We'll get another one up here, just so we have kind of oxygen coming from two directions. And that should help us quite a bit on making sure that all these plants are just going to continue to grow. At the same time, we still do want to uncover more buried objects. Look around to see if there's any that I have missed. Anything that's in like this granite we can't reach quite yet. I mean, I guess Meemaw can get to it. Maybe we start highlighting some of those areas. Just in case Meemaw gets the chance, she can crack them open. More buried objects. More buried objects. I guess we'll count this one. Anything else? I don't really want to designate that one. Or this one. Stuff at the bottom of the body of water doesn't seem like the best place to dig. We'll go ahead and dig out this. Get that planted. Domesticated, I should say. So yeah, didn't take a lot of effort to deliver the water to these algae terrariums. They're all sitting happy. Didn't have to run up here and pump a bunch of water out. We're just going to let this thing slowly drip down, fill these up, and then once these have run out of water, we can either be cleaning up the air with the deodorizers, or we can just be adding more water to this area. As long as we keep the germs under control, like by making sure that this wash basin is always available, we should be good on our immune system. We've no immune system damage yet. No one's gotten any germs on them at all. At least no one besides Meemaw. Meemaw potentially could have reduced her germ count without losing the immune system. Morale's pretty good. 5 out of 2, 7 over 2, 5 out of 2. Keeping everything high. How is yours 7 out of 2? Alright. Last cycle's decor was merely poor. That's fine. Slowly finishing up our research. Coming along. I believe a flower pot with a briar bush is enough these days to qualify a space as a great hall. We'll also need to get a recreation building, which shouldn't be too hard. We can go ahead and set one up right here, I suppose. Let's have it a little bit in. And we will set up a flower pot here, plant a briar bush, and hopefully be good. I can't quite remember if that's enough, but getting this to a great hall is also going to greatly improve the morale of our dupes and make it so that they can work better jobs. Still need more seeds. Very important. In fact, let's go ahead and improve the priority on these. Get this built. We are actually not that far from stabilizing on food, but we'll want to build a little bit of a surplus. Wow, all of the shine bugs have migrated up here. Interesting. How are we doing on oxygen? This is fine. Nothing special, but it's fine. Bristle blossoms growing. Great. Yeah, we're having little bits of pressure issues here. Largely looks because of polluted oxygen that's made its way up here, which is not good at all. Not good at all. So that's because we did not deal with this polluted dirt situation correctly. More seeds. Muck roots. Alright, that's fine. We want as many seeds as we can get. As many seeds as we can get. So we build a water cooler. We're going to disable this building. And as soon as this research is done, we're going to try and convert this into a great hall. It's not going to look very great. It's going to look pretty lame, but it'll work. It's good enough. Alright, research. Let's start working our way towards internal combustion, I think. We can replace this small battery with jumbo battery. That'll help us a little bit. And then let's go ahead and just slap down a sandstone flower pot. And see if we can't convert this to a great hall. We might need to get just a little bit more. Change that to a 7. In fact, one of the things we might consider doing is just slapping down some tile right across here. Like so. And then we can do something like this. That looks fine. And we'll set up our another oxygen area up here for this water. Still very much interested in getting more research done because there's a lot of things in research that are very important. Internal combustion combined with smart battery is very important. Getting our ranching up and running is very important. We need, of course, some sort of refinement, which is very important. We need advanced research to be able to research that. Deodorizers are very important. Any plumbing or air systems are going to need more research, etc., etc., etc. There's just so many things you need to get your whole thing up and running. But we've gotten the big one out of the way, which is food. And now it's really just a matter of surviving until we can get our next big improvement up. I'm also going to go ahead and toss down another cot, just in case we end up adding another duplicate. This is no longer enclosed as a great hall, which is fine. Let's go ahead and prioritize this. See if we can't get a great hall finished here. Decor plus 26, that should be good. That will do it as soon as we enclose this as a room. And then we'll start getting an extra morale boost. And then we'll be able to promote people to higher up jobs. We'll want a farmhand because we're ultimately going to want a rancher. We are also going to want a research assistant so that way we can work on the next tier of research. And these morale requirements are going to be fairly significant because we want to be 2 ahead of them as well. It's not even just that we need to get guys up to, well, basically rancher, which is going to be plus 12. We're going to need to get them to plus 14, that way they're not suffering from stress problems. And plus 14 morale, we're a little ways away from that. The highest that we have right now is Bert right now. That's because he hasn't been running through a bunch of just completely ugly areas. Also, he managed to get a terrible meal as opposed to a grizzly meal. So 7 is a little bit high. 5 is kind of what I would expect without any more further special treatment. And that means that we would need to find another 9 points of morale. 3 of them we'll get from this Great Hall. But a lot of the rest we're going to have to find sort of in other areas. Alright. Building this out. That's great. We'll go ahead and toss down another mess table right here in case we get another duplicate. Yeah, let's just priority 7 here. Can we get this done? Just so I can have my room done. Alright, so now we have a great haul. Just because we've thrown in a water cooler and a potted bluff briar. Though we do need the pressure. This downgrades to a mess hall whenever the pressure is not high enough for this bluff briar. So that's another thing we're going to need to take into account, which is why we want to get this next oxygen area up and running, basically. Base tile, fill this up. And yeah, I think the next priority is just going to be to stabilize our air pressure up here as well. Prioritize all this, I suppose. I think I do want this dug out. That way there's just a little bit more room for airflow. And we are going to start setting up algae terrariums just all across here. Alright, do we get a new duplicant? Someone with farming. +3 farming is fine. Yeah, I think we actually will take Ellie, and we're going to set her priority on farming to be very high. And we'll want her to try and do all the farming because she gives us a 10% chance of generating a seed every time she harvests. So, Ellie, welcome to the team. It does mean that we are straining our food requirements because we don't quite have enough for everybody yet, but hopefully because she has farming skills, she will be able to help us out in that area. Let's go ahead and take the priority on these and crank them down to a 6. And let's go to jobs and tell Ellie to work as a gopher. One of the nice things, though, about printing a new duplicate is everyone gets a new friend bonus, I believe. So we go to Catalina, new friend. This will reduce stress by 10% per cycle for 3 cycles. So this will all come down a little bit as a result. Oxygen, algae terrarium. More algae terrariums, please. We will priority 6 all of these. And as soon as these have algae in them and are good to go, we're just going to crack into this liquid layer right here and flood this area with water and get all these algae terrariums up and running. We're going to need to do a little bit of work with these algae terrariums, emptying them and such. But in the long run, we'll be able to just put deodorizers up and about and get everything going that way. Produce a ton of oxygen with the deodorizers as well. We're coming along in our research. Working slowly. We're going to want to replace this battery once we've got access to the better stuff. And yeah, this is a pretty solid start. So, other things to consider, just sort of offhand. We found ourselves a, looks like some sort of cold vent, because this is all cold. So I'm guessing this is maybe a cool slush geyser. I don't know why otherwise this area would be cold, but I'm not sure why it's cold to begin with. We also have a cool steam vent up here, which we'll need to work on at some point. I don't see anything else, but those are 2 pretty good things to have. Let's go ahead and improve the priority on this. We forgot to put Ellie on a different schedule, but that's fine. We'll live. She's not on the same schedule as everyone else, so it's going to be okay. And yeah, this is a pretty solid start. This is exactly the sort of stuff you want to see. Germ-wise, this whole area is pretty germy. We're probably going to next dig out over here. I mean, this is vacuum, which is great. We're not really... I guess there are some germs here that we'll need to get rid of or just wall off. But other than that, doing pretty well. Whoa, what are you doing? Let's crank up the priority on these for a moment. Get some algae up in here. Let's improve the priority of this as well. Once we get the second set of oxygen generators up and going, this morale bonus will become more reliable because we'll be able to pressurize this whole area with oxygen. And we should be good to go. We will need to work on deodorizers at some point because we have chosen to go with algae terrariums as our oxygen tech. But should be pretty straightforward. Change these back to priority 5 because now they have oxygen in them, or not oxygen, algae in them. That can be priority 5, that can be priority 5, that can be, already is priority 5. Alright, not bad. And then we'll flood this area and we'll be good. We still want to find more seeds, that's very important. Still need to find more seeds, now that we have 4 mouths to feed. Very critical. Let's go ahead and priority 6 all of these as well. And this one, once it's done, we'll set it priority 6. Just so we can get algae in them. Alright. Now we can crank the priority down back on all of these. And we will say priority 6 this stuff. We'll priority 6 this as well. Alright, looking good. So we're pretty close to wrapping up this episode. This is just showing you, in this and the previous episode, how to kind of get on your feet. Just the initial steps that you need to take to make sure that your duplicants don't starve, make sure that they don't stress themselves out too much, to meet all the sort of the additional requirements that harder difficulty puts on you. I really still just want to emphasize that a lot of it is just focusing on getting your research into your farms up very quickly. Prioritize that a lot higher than you normally do. And then you're going to want to set up your farms as quickly as possible. This, even now, it looks like a lot, but this is actually not enough to support 4 duplicants. This will not cover them. We still need to dig up more seeds around the map. We need our farmer to get a little bit lucky and generate some more seeds for us. But this is... So we've found some seeds here, that's great. We need to provide an environment for them where there's enough pressure, air pressure, to keep everything going. That's also very important. Getting all of your farming up very quickly is the biggest deal in this difficulty setting. That's the big challenge. This is a mess hall because this needs more oxygen. Or at least just higher pressure. But we should see just a cascade of oxygen now coming out of this whole system. Alright, and then next time we need to refill these with water, we can just clear out another tile, let this come down here, and work like that. And we should be good to go. Okay, hope this was helpful. In future episodes, I'll kind of be skipping forward in time to where we have some new system, some new thing built, and I'll explain why we focused on that, why that was a priority, how to build it, and sort of all the details of that. Until then, I guess I'll see you guys next time.